This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. Wow, happy St. Patrick's Day. I completely forgot about it. The title of this rant is Putin picks Fox's useful stooges to undermine the U.S. election. So our intelligence agencies just came out with the unclassified version of all the stuff that Vladi had been doing before the 2020 election to try and push it Trump's way. And this was stuff that the intelligence agencies had told the Trump administration, and they basically said that that wasn't true at all. They poo-pooed it. But now we know. But what we know is Vladi got close. He found a new group of stooges in Fox News and let's say Rudy Giuliani and some other useful ones. And I'm going to call out Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, and who are those other two? Judge Jeannie and Lou Dobbs. You know, they just threw out just an incredible amount of stuff. And what we know is that behind the scenes, word came from Vladimir and Putin and the Russians to the Ukrainians and filtered its way through to a number of people that got to Rudy, that got to Sean, that got to Laura, that got to Tucker to throw out stuff that was just totally off base. But the thing was, Russians had an incredible ability to do psych ops. They've been doing it for 100 years. They looked at a couple things and said, how can we exploit this? Because they looked at what actually Trumpism is. And they said, how can we exploit this? They looked at Trumpism in terms of its, let's call it radical masculinity and misogyny. And they said, oh yeah, we can exploit that. They looked at Trumpism in terms of its hostility to science, reason, and objective truth. Oh yeah, we can exploit that. And they looked at Trumpism in terms of it's putting the power as personal, meaning to Trump, and not institutional, meaning the institution of the office of the presidency. And it fit well with all of the things which conservative basically is. So some of this is a tad bit redundant, but with conservatism, there is a lot of irrational fear of the future, a fear of the unknown. And of course, Vladimir can exploit that all over the place. Another thing of conservatism is aggressive ignorance and implacable hatred. And if we take a look at the Electoral College, where Ted Cruz and who is that guy in Missouri, Josh Hollings, and the 146 members of the House of Representatives, who all did aggressive ignorance in saying that the election was a fraud. All right. And also another thing about conservatives, a thirst for vengeance. So Vladimir had a lot to work with. He used it, he exploited it, and he exploited all these people at Fox News, some of them, and some people in Congress. You know, there's going to be lawsuits out there and there's going to be indictments out there. But he had them. Fox was purveying this stuff all over the place. Rudy was out there. Who was that other lady? Sidney Powell. And of course, Fox knows that it works for them. They're going to stick with it. They're going all over this border now stuff. They're exploiting everything they can. And remember that it's not only those things that I just said. Fox has a relentless pursuit of racial otherism, meaning it's always the other person. It's always the black person. It's always the brown person. It's always the Asian American Pacific Islander person, right? That's what it is. They're going to relentlessly continue to pursue that. And right now, with the passage of the stimulus, and hopefully a passage of a lot more, but right now, a thriving economy will help quite a bit. But there's a lot more to do to get rid of all of this stuff. But another big thing, and I hope Joe does this real soon, is we need to have massive sanctions on Vladimir, all of his oligarchs in Russia, massive sanctions.